What's your favorite scary movie?
Do you ever fantasize about
damn enchiladas?
That's much too vulgar display of power, Karen.
Let me ask you one question. Are you having fun?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Because I promise you, you and I are going to have some fun.
Oh, no.
It is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Shut up, you bitch hog.
Game over.
Welcome back to the Dreadcast, one and all. My name is Tom. This is Nick.
Hello.
And we don't technically review horror movies here, more so an in-depth discussion where we'll most likely get the facts wrong.
And we will get some facts wrong because we don't always fact check or remember things correctly because we're only humans.
Yeah, and the reason this has been added into the beginning of the episode, and probably now every episode, well, you'll see when you get to the next few episodes on saw traps.
You say the next few episodes. This is going to be coming out after them.
Yes, we are now recording this episode, which is going to come out before the next one, but we're recording it after we've...
so this is going to come out before the Saw one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise.
Yeah,
So we recorded Saw already.
Yes, we did.
But because it's like 400 hours worth of recording...
There were many facts wrong.
And we made a few errors.
Yeah.
About who did and didn't survive certain traps.
So this actually bears well for us that we're doing this now, and we can apologise to the 5 viewers and listeners. Thank you, 5 viewers and listeners. We love you all. Mistakes were made, but it's all good. It's all good. It's a fun series of episodes coming up throughout April. If you enjoy this episode though, please do head on back into the past and check out some of the past episodes from the show, whether it be classic or new movie discussion we've done. Another 2 films under, like today. Or a little trip down to Springfield where you can check out some of our Treehouse of Horror discussions. The leprechaun from the last one.
There we go.
Yeah. What does he say that you love? That one line?
Kiss me, no.
No, it wasn't Kiss Me, I'm Irish.
It's not the leprechaun, it's the gypsy.
That's it, it's the gypsy. Yeah.
Kirsty. How's that curse I cursed you with? I know you don't remember me. I love that line.
So if you enjoy witty quotes like that from The Simpsons, do head on back and check out some of our Treehouse of Horrors. All this and more on all major audio streaming services and YouTube just by searching the Dreadcast. I just scroll down from my script there. You can also send us the letters, questions, trivia, and more to the mailbag at the thedreadcastpodcast@gmail.com. What's that, Nick?
The thedreadcastpodcast@gmail.com.
That was the first time. Never practiced that once. And
I threw it back to you last time, and it completely.
Yeah, that really threw me. That's like...
Keep that co-host away from the camera. He's distracting our viewers. Oh, it's a real one.
Yeah. I may need to leave the room for 5 minutes just to decompress if you did that again. I think I got it. How did I do? Was that the good for the new script, for the new intro? I think it'll get more natural the more
I think it should be more stilted and stumbling, and you should very clearly be reading. Hello, my name is... What's that saying?
Well, the camera's there, and I'm definitely looking down there, back to the camera a lot. So, the thing is, I didn't get any facts wrong in that.
My name is Tom? Who typed a question mark on a teleprompter?
I didn't get any facts wrong in that. We'll get facts wrong for the rest of the episode, but not in that. So I'm happy with that. That email address was... Yes, that is correct. Great. And we are the... You're Nick?
I hope so.
Yes, and I'm Tom, I believe. So, today is a very special episode. It is another 2 films under installment. How does 2 films under work, Nick?
Well, Tom, what we do...
Did you go American then for a second?
Well, you just kind of...
Well, Tom...
Well, Tom, what we like to do is... Well, my accent will just go pan-global. We have here the coffin of Tom's hopes and dreams.
We need to find a good name for this because me and Aiden used to call it the raven-sized coffin because you could fit a good-sized raven in it.
You could. See, I think that could very happily contain the mummified remains of Emperor Mobutu. He's teriyaki flavour.
Or a few Venus de Milos, if you will.
Well, yep. You get 2 of them in because there's no arms.
What is this coffin? What does it house that I'm holding here in my hand?
It houses a variety of film possibility kind of ideas.
And criteria.
So, yeah, for example, it might say the film must contain a mummy. Well, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have that in there.
No, but we could try and do that.
That would be a really difficult one. So, the last couple we've had must contain an unusual monster.
Which is today's episode.
And last one was must contain evil in the title.
Oh, God, that feels like so long ago now, that episode.
Yeah.
Which
was terrible.
We had the two films in question were Beyond Evil and 976 Evil.
Were you trying to remember them there?
Yes.
They're literally on the screen.
You're not meant to...
I know, but
You're not meant to tell them that.
But here's the thing. I saw them on the screen, looked at you, and I couldn't remember the names of the films.
It's not quite a fact, but what are we? We're 6 minutes in, and already a mistake has been made.
Well, like 6 minutes since you pressed record. We've only actually been talking to the camera for about 4.
Yes, that was the last episode. So criteria is picked. We pick one criteria, and we also...
roll a dice to find out what decade the film has to be from.
Has to be from.
70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, 10s, and...
I guess we are doing 20s
20s,
now, right?
yeah. We've got like half a century.
Wait, did you... Was that 7 then? On your finger, on your hand then? 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, 10... Yeah, 20. Right.
Yeah, I'm just doing finger guns.
Good finger guns, yeah.
Bang,
so,
bang.
so the last episode was Evil in the Title and from the 80s. Today's was specifically Unusual Monster, which was...
From the 2000s.
From the 2000s. Now... It was the from the 2000s part I was more excited about because I feel like these sort of trashy movies it was kind of like a boom because we had more straight to TV films.
Well, it turns out we both picked sci-fi straight to kind of TV movies.
Yeah. So I was very happy. The hardest thing was defining unusual monster.
Yeah, because
that was really tough.
I think we've both kind of hit on unusual monsters, but they could have been a lot more unusual.
We've
got fairly standard unusual monsters.
Yes, when I think unusual monsters, I think more later on, maybe in the 10s and to now, where you're real trash, your killer sofa, your slacks, your rubber.
Rubber.
Rubber's the one that comes to my head the most, and I liked rubber.
Yeah.
But that's an unusual monster. Whereas today we have Snake Man, aka Snakeking. Can you guess what that's about? Versus Frankenfish. Can you guess what that's about?
It's a fish.
The fact that they have fish and snake in the title doesn't really make them unusual, but...
It's like one of the issues we had with Unusual Monster is one film that I have seen from this time period, early 2000s, with an unusual monster in it, was, I think, a bit too good for this...
A Splice?
No, not Splice. It's the one with the plants.
The one with the plants, folks.
I think you've seen it. The plants in like a pyramid.
Oh, yes, we discussed it. The Ruins. Yes, that was one of the options I put as the artwork. Yes, I agree. The Ruins is okay.
Yeah, it's not great, but it is a film I have seen more than one time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. You've also seen one of these technically nearly 2 times. So yes, that is what we'll be getting into in a second for today, but... as you pointed out just before the recording, why don't we pick for the next installment, which will probably be, I would say, end of May.
Sweet.
So let's see what is up for grabs.
Let's do the decade first.
Let's do the decade first.
We're going to flip it around, yeah.
We got to show it to the lovely folks at home. We got
a dice app.
I say an imaginary dice. Technically, it is an imaginary dice.
Yeah,
digital dice. I want to get a spinning wheel.
Okay.
I've been meaning to make one for so long. I'm gonna invent one. I'm gonna make a spinning wheel, and we're gonna have a fancy spinning wheel here. But for now, what are we gonna get?
Tap to roll. 3 70s, 80s, 90s. Ooh.
Okay, 90s. Okay.
I want a slasher. I want a 90s slasher because there's a lot of them.
If we pick,
is slasher an option?
No. Oh, it might be. We need to add more. We need to revamp them, and also if I pick,
vamp.
Yeah, if I pick Evil in the Title or unlike Unusual Monster, we'll pick again because we can't really do that too.
I didn't know you put them back in. I thought you just kind of ate them or something.
Right. Yeah, I need to add more to this. All right, Nick.
Yep.
What does it say?
Oh my god.
What does it say?
It says vampires.
What?
It says you said revamp it. I said vampires. We picked vampires.
A 90s vampire film.
There's Ghosts of Mars is kind of a vampire film.
2000s.
Is it 2000?
2000s.
Okay.
And do you know
So
what?
it's too good.
It may be John
Too
Carpenter,
good.
but that film is trash.
No, it's too good for this. It's got Jason Statham in it with hair. What more can you want? Also, why are we discussing this? It doesn't fit the.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't matter. So, vampire film from the
2000s.
90s that has to be dirge, bottom of the barrel, B movie fitting, basically.
I saw a film. I think it was called Vampire 2000, so it's probably not from the 90s. Though it might have been, because a lot of stuff in the late 90s they called it 2000.
In the 2000s, there would probably be many. I don't think it would fit in the 90s, but I think in the 2000s you would find many films that would be like vamps versus or something versus vampires. You know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Blade was in the 90s.
Blade's way too good though.
Yeah,
but there must be some knockoffs.
I have a
of
Blade tattoo.
There must be some knockoffs of Blade.
Edge, Gangrel, Christian.
Wow. So that'll be.
I like that I got another wrestling reference
yeah,
in, but it
you'll
was
get it
because
in every
you
time.
set it up perfectly.
I did, and you knocked it out the park. So that would be our homework for May.
90s
if
vampires.
you can think of anything that would fit that criteria, leave it in the comments
Any
or
shit.
the
Has
comments
to
of
be
the
shit.
podcast if you're listening to it in audio form. Or send it on into the dreadcastpodcast@gmail.com.
What's that address?
The dreadcastpodcast@gmail.com. Okay. Now, today's film, Snakeman, aka Snakeking versus Frankenfish. Your film was Frankenfish. Mine Snakeman.
My film is
Snakeking.
nice because it has one name. It's called Frankenfish. Yours is Snakeman / Snakeking.
Do you want to do that one first?
Yeah, do your film first.
Snakeman, aka Snakeking. Now, I've got notes before we even get into.
Why
the
is it
fucking
called
film.
Snakeman?
Yeah, let's.
When I hear Snakeman, I think like some guy's been
Do you think
genetically
that?
crossed with a snake or something.
Do you think that?
Yes.
The
that-
artwork
You mean the bloke who looks like he's part snake?
that has nothing to do with the film.
There's a snake. That's it. That's the only thing.
Look at it. He's even got hair.
A new breed of predator. Just awful. If
So
I didn't know better, I would think that was a completely different movie.
completely. That has nothing to do with the film.
Now,
Who is?
I'm pretty sure there is a Bollywood film called Snakeman. Could that be the poster for the Indian movie?
I mean, when I was looking this up, there is a TV series called
Ooh.
Snakeman. Snakeman.
He has an S on his chest for snake.
Snakeman. There was. I'm fairly certain there was a Snakeman TV series. I can't find it now, but I'm Man versus Snake. But either way, that poster does not fit it.
Oh,
There
that's
was-
his IMDb poster. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. It's probably
There
the correct
was-
one then.
I mean, at least it's shit, but it at
Stephen
least,
Baldwin Snake Man.
yeah, it at least fits. You know, it at
tells
least
you who's
fits.
in it.
Yeah. I also I mentioned to you just before the recording about we were talking about Snow White, the new.
Oh yeah.
That has a lower rating than Snake Man.
Yeah, but Snow White got really bad ratings before it came out. Turns out they may be deserved, but on the basis of the trailer, people were like, Snow White's black. The dwarves are all CGI. Let's downvote it to hell. I mean, I'll be honest, the dwarves look terrifying.
Horrendous.
You can't say you want to go for kind of photorealistic and then make those dwarves who look like Hagrid from Harry Potter.
And then you employ Gal Gadot, but less said about that, the better.
Yeah, but it's been trashed by people who've actually seen it as well.
Oh, I'm happy to trash it without seeing it.
I mean, have you seen many of the Disney
No.
live-action remakes?
No, my time's too precious for stuff like that.
Right, so I saw The Lion King. It was acceptable.
Are you about to run through all
No,
of
I've only seen a couple.
Okay.
So I saw the remake of The Lion King. It was okay, but unnecessary. You didn't learn anything new. I saw the remake of Beauty and the Beast. That was okay.
Okay.
I still much prefer the original. But I've had no interest in watching any of the others. I've not seen like the Lion King Mufasa movie that came out at the Christmas or whatever. It's just... Ugh. Whereas my nieces love the Little Mermaid remake. Because they love the Little Mermaid, so... kids are idiots.
Yeah, but Snake Man though,
So,
aka Snake King. I've done trying to do some research on this film. I haven't seen
why?
because I wanted to try and do some homework.
Here's what I'll say about this film. This film has got one actor in it who I can name, and that's Stephen Baldwin. who is two things he's known for: The Usual Suspects,
And the brother of Alec Baldwin.
Okay, three things he's known for: being one of the Baldwins, The Usual
Yeah.
Suspects, and being Justin Bieber's father-in-law.
Is he really?
Genuinely, yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Bieber is married to Stephen Baldwin's daughter.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, well, and he's a Baldwin, so there's three.
Yeah,
There we
okay.
go. I mean, he's rolling in these facts with.
I mean, he's fun in The Usual Suspects.
Yes,
because
he is.
everyone's fun. It's a great film.
Everyone's great in that. Yeah. So this is a sci-fi original film. If you watch it, you could tell. This is mid 2000s. This is 2005, right? Now, for me, I don't know about you. This film, it gives to me personally the feeling of like late afternoon, early evening, Sky One or Sci-Fi Channel from the mid 2000s, sort of TV show. This would be a TV show, like a Relic Hunter, or like an adventure sort of TV show. If done well, if produced well, if directed well, if everything well.
It feels like they could just make it into an Indiana Jones knockoff.
It feels adventure.
In fact, at one point, one of the characters even says it's budget Indiana Jones here or something. But
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's anything but horror, really.
it's anything but good.
Hey, it's anything but horror.
The best part of the film, of the whole film, is the stock footage they use just of the locations. When you got the camera flying over the Amazon or something, or you get a shot of a waterfall.
Right, yeah.
You know, there's some nice establishing stock footage.
Establishing shots, yeah.
Then they get to the actual movie parts of issues.
That's like with a lot of movies where they'll get establishing shots quickly of Manhattan, and then they won't film in Manhattan. They'll
too
film in
expensive.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
I remember they did that for Scream 6. Loads of like panning shots of Brooklyn Bridge and Manhattan, and then there's no other establishing shots of that you'd recognise, like landmarks you'd recognise of Manhattan, New York, throughout the whole film.
Very expensive to film there.
Because they're not there, yeah.
Also, a lot of New York was destroyed by Godzilla in 1998.
And every other movie that came out after it, because it's the one film.
Cloverfield! Proper wrecked it. I love Cloverfield.
Cloverfield's good. We should be getting that sequel soon.
What, as opposed to the two we've had?
Yeah. But an actual
direct...
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. Another few things before we get into the story. Another few things I noticed because I watched Snakeman first, then finished Frankenfish about half hour ago.
I was here when you finished.
You were, yes. Both films follow a very similar pattern.
They've got the kind of cookie cutter. Okay, here's the idea for the film. We're going to have a male lead who knows the area. We're going to have a female who will be the love interest, possibly.
Yeah.
We're going to have a bad guy who's a dick.
Mr. Big Science Businessman, probably, yes.
That's his name.
But specifically, they turn up in late to second act, final act of the film to clean up the mess, if you will. Both of the films that happens in both of the films with their crack shot team.
Both films have the local people who live there the whole time.
Yep, that's it.
Both the films have some type of unusual creature.
Yep. So yeah, like I call them low tier scientists get sent out on the location to discover like what's going on, what's the issue. There's been an incident. Incident gets more out of hand, and that's when big bad scientist / businessman turns up with his mercenaries.
So Snakeking has the archaeological dig, find his body, take it away. The body was 300 years old when it died. Okay, let's find out how they got to be this old. Whereas the other one is body's washed up, it's mutilated. We need to work out how they were killed. So both setups are something's happened. We need to go to the location and find out what has happened.
I'll tell you what, the setup in Snakeman is way better than the setup in Frankenfish.
Strongly disagree.
Fine, and I would explain when we get to Frankenfish why I feel that.
Okay.
Way. Just because I feel like it's very bread and butter, the Frankenfish setup compared to this. This is goofy. This is goofy as hell in Snakeman, where the scientists just give the simple reason of we've discovered Amazon Man, as they call him, who we later find out is called Cravat. He's a cravat. And they, just by carbon dating and science things...
So, by doing science...
By doing science and carbon dating, we've discovered he's lived to 300 years old.
And they looked at his DNA, and it was different to our DNA. Yeah,
just
as it comes up on the screen behind them, DNA.
Bar charts,
but they want
to
to show you who the bad guy is straight away. So
Yeah.
He leans in and takes her mic and starts talking.
He's super tall.
But you're thinking, okay, that's just to make him look like a dick. However, at that point, he was fully justified because they were both
super talks.
they were both called up to the podium to speak, and she went up first and positioned herself centrally in front of the mic, and he was like leaning in anyway. So okay, fair enough. At one point, he leans over and takes the mic. He gives it back afterwards, but that's to set him up as the dickhead. But really, she didn't share the mic with him.
No. I know exactly. I can know this scene exactly you're talking about because that actually is in Manhattan, because we get the establishing shot of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Did you clock that establishing shot though?
No.
It's sped up. The clouds are flying across the sky.
Oh, that's just because the snake god is angry.
So the evil, we're talking about the evil head scientist, Dr. John Simon, nice creative name, and Dr. Susan Elters is our main female lead, who has fabulous hair and makeup all the way through the film, even though she's been having a hard time for the Amazon.
Nobody sweats in this film.
No.
At one point,
it's not that hot.
At one point, Dr. Bad Guy kind of mops his...
Bad Guy, he should be called Dr.
It might as well be. He mops his brow because he's really hot and sweaty, puts his hat back on, and there's no sweat on anyone at all. They've not even just misted their faces.
Yes.
They're hiking through the Amazon after their helicopter has crashed. They're carrying all the heavy equipment. There's no sweat.
What do you know about the Amazon?
I've heard it's rather warm.
I mean, those warehouses can get pretty warm.
Wait.
Yeah, no, you're right. I picked up on that as well.
I think the warehouses are probably about as safe as this Amazon rainforest.
I didn't look as far into where they actually shot.
No.
I don't believe it was really the Amazon.
Probably not, no.
So yeah, once Mr. Amazon Man's been discovered, they then want to go to the said jungle to find out more about the tribe, right? Basically. But hasn't am I right in saying a team has already been sent there and they've been attacked by... we don't know.
So, the way I got it, and I have not rewatched the film, but my understanding, having just watched it once and put no research into it because I didn't deserve it, is I think that was the remnants of the original team who found the body.
Yes.
So they find the big kind of sarcophagus type thing with the body in. Some of them return to Manhattan apparently with the Amazon Man, and the rest of them kind of stay behind to talk on video calls.
One of them's called Timothy, who ends up
covered in blood,
being the only survivor of the attack
because he's covered in blood.
We find him later on when the team find him.
When we found him, I actually thought he was maybe like a hallucination or something.
Really? That's way too clever.
He rocks up... Oh, yeah, you're right. It was way too clever. My brain was just putting things in to improve the movie.
Yeah, okay. No, I get you. You would try... so you would try to basically make the movie as it went along.
Yeah, I mean...
I would like it to have this and this.
Wait, so Stephen Baldwin knew that Dr. Guy was setting him up?
That was never in the movie.
Oh, when I get bored, I make up my own movie in my head.
Oh, look, a bird. I believe all that happened as well.
Hello, Snake. You are a stupid head.
Timothy, one of the scientists, we come back to him later on, which then leads Stephen Baldwin, who plays a guy called Matt Ford, enters in a helicopter like a badass, and he's a crack shot at spiders. There's a CGI spider.
No, that's the scene I get. That I hated everything about that scene.
The CGI spider crawling down onto
okay.
Susan's shoulder.
Let's do this now. The CGI spider comes down.
Yeah.
She is sat on a log.
Yeah.
He is standing above her. A few feet away. She's looking up to talk to him.
Yeah.
He gets his knife out. He throws it at the spider. She turns to look at the spider impaled on the wall, about 2 foot above her.
Yeah.
So this knife has gone down, hit the spider, then gone up. He goes and retrieves it. The spider on the knife, it's gone like through the spider's belly.
Yep.
So the knife is pointing up and the spider's legs are down. When we get to a shot of facing him, the legs are up. Whenever the shot is facing her, the legs are down. They've redone this with different shitty props. The spider keeps getting flipped over between fucking shots.
I'd expect nothing.
Who the fuck was the continuity editor here? What the fuck was going on?
Who was the art designer for the graphics where there's a man with funky Billy Idol hair and snake fangs?
Yeah, it's a weird poster, but it's like there was a scene in Hellboy, the original one, with Ron Perlman, where which hand is it that's the stone hand?
I want to say his right hand.
Okay, so let's say his right hand
I'm
is a
not
stone hand.
100%.
Okay, I think it's the right one.
Check
But,
while you're
okay,
doing that.
it's definitely either right or left.
Yeah.
So there's a shot in one of the films where his other hand is the one that's the rock hand.
That one. Yep.
But it wasn't a flipped shot. It's like they had made a left prosthetic and he had worn it in one of the shots apparently. So what the fuck? Who was watching this and didn't pick up on that? Yeah, it's just weird.
You always used to get those shows on TV where like, oh, here's some continuity errors in films and TV shows. Look, this happened in this scene, but then, this happened.
In fact, we pointed one out in Rec 3. The blood across the face gone between shots. I mentioned it was when he killed the guy with the blender. Yeah, and he had the blood across his mouth that got into his mouth, and they got rid of it in between shots. Yeah. I mean, I personally didn't notice that because I wasn't for a film like this. I wasn't looking. We had already seen said Snake Man, even though. So, okay, we knew this film. We know this film was Snake Man, not Snake King, really. Okay. Yeah.
Personally, I don't know why IMDb is specifying this as Snake King. Everywhere else kind of specifies this as Snake Man.
It might have been called the Snake King in like when it was re-shown on Sci-Fi or something. I'm
not going to call it Snake Man, the monster, because it's not Snake Man.
No,
it changes what it is throughout the film. It's a snake monster.
It's a 3-headed snake that becomes like 10 heads.
Many a Hydra.
Yeah,
it's a snake monster. But the thing is,
the first time we see the 3 heads, all I've got is the meme. I think it's Dragon Ball Z. Serious, stupid.
I know. I think it's Ghidorah.
Is it Ghidorah? I don't know where it's from. But I just know the meme.
So we actually see the snake monster quite early on in the film.
Yeah,
which I was pleasantly surprised because you don't normally see that. Yeah, you're left, or like Frankenfish, you see the ripples in the water. Like you're led to believe there's something there.
A less is more approach because when you haven't got a huge budget for CGI, maybe having the thing on screen for half the film doesn't make sense.
I liked it. I liked seeing it early on. Okay, I liked it because
the first person we see getting killed by this is a guy, and they just put the camera above him, and he starts slashing at the camera, and then he disappears, and then his leg falls down. So what the? It was so cheesy.
Yes, it's called Snake Man for fuck's sake.
I wanted to be pleasantly surprised.
I wanted to see a Snake Man, but we didn't get that. The only thing I could think is Snake Man. Baldwin. Is Snake Man technically Baldwin?
No.
Right.
Snake Man's the guy who's in charge of the tribe. Yeah. Right. Tribe. I'd say he's the Snake Man.
I want to get this out of the way as well. The Snake Monster.
Maybe Amazon Man's actually Snake Man.
Oh, maybe. But Amazon Man is part of the tribe, right?
Yeah, but he was in charge. He was their leader.
I want to get out of the way. We'll be specific now, and we're gonna leave this here. The snake monster is called Naga.
I believe that is just like the word snake.
Yeah.
It
is. You
got Nagini, Harry Potter.
Yes,
the snake.
And actually, in World of Warcraft, there is a race called the Naga.
So I know I've definitely heard Naga as well. I think there's possibly there's a lot of stuff you get snake-related characters who have Naga somewhere in their name.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. I was just taken a bit aback. I can't remember who in the film, but I'm fairly certain I heard the name of the said snake monster not be pronounced like that.
Are you saying it was the N-word?
I might be wrong, but it sounded like it.
I didn't pick up on that.
I might not have been paying much attention, but it's yeah. Just wanted to say, yeah. So it's Naga, and we do see it quite a lot. Through film. We do see it. But as you were saying about continuity, I did want to bring it back to that. The continuity of the monster. I mean, forget about it.
Its size
forget about it.
It has 3 heads at one point, then it has loads of heads,
and then it becomes a Hydra at the end.
Well, it's a constrictor at one point when it crushes that one guy.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah,
and then at one point it spits venom like a spitting cobra.
Does. Onto one of our main characters actually.
It's Dr. Evil Man.
Dr. Rick Gordon. No, he's not the main bad guy. He's like
no, he's the bad guy who's on the.
He's on the crew, on the ground. Yes, we're working with Susan. Yeah. Big bad guy up in the offices who turns up later. Bad guy.
No. There's kind of underling bad guy.
Yes.
Dr. Dickhead or whatever it is.
Yes. Number 2.
Deuce.
You look so.
I mean, really, who throws venom?
He looks so youthful, number 2, before the venom. Yeah, everything changes with the monster's mythology and everything about it. You don't see much of its body. It's kind of like from chest upwards.
But you have to imagine that this snake is like 400 miles long because the heads are above the trees with enough height to come down completely, and you don't see any of their body.
No one can see it.
So to counterbalance that amount of height going up, that snake's body is just like it's in fucking Argentina by now.
Yeah. Well, snakes plural.
No, it's just one. It's just one giant snake.
With many heads.
Yeah.
They never see it. They never see it coming. The size of this snake, they never see it.
Stealthy.
There's a rustle in the trees.
Well, you don't hear the footsteps, you see.
The
'cause it's a
footprints.
snake.
Oh yeah, stealthy, like a snake.
You can't get kind of the Jurassic Park vibrations in the water because it's a snake.
So the whole premise of the film is they're trying to find the secret to eternal youth.
And the helicopter crashes because there's a thunderstorm for exactly the amount of time they're in the air for.
Yeah.
Look at those clouds. There might be a thunderstorm. Take off. Thunder hits them. They land. No more thunder at all for the film.
Very precise. Yeah, it's very precise.
There is one lightning strike in the entire film, and it happens to hit the helicopter.
Happened to be right then and there.
But they couldn't afford to wreck the helicopter, so in the scene after it's landed, it's just perfectly pristine, but they can't fly it anymore. Yeah, it'd be too expensive to damage the helicopter. We've only hired it for the day.
And I suppose that you get used to, I mean, especially after watching so much Star Trek, you get used to shaky cam. Especially with that, they in that helicopter set. It's so obvious. Most of this film is a lot of traipsing through the jungle. Snake monster turns up,
Kill somebody.
Rest of the team runs off.
Yep.
Rinse and repeat. We get the 2 tribes that we somewhat learn about. We learn more about the snake tribe itself.
The other one, the Jaguar tribe.
Yes, who are kind of helping our team.
Because Stephen Baldwin knows them.
Oh, he knows them. They're the best mates.
I speak Jaguar tribe because I was brought up here by my parents. Oh, good. Well, fair enough. That's a bit of exposition for us.
That's all I need. It's all we need. And the actual Amazon man snake tribe speak beautiful English.
No, not all of them. Just the leader.
Well, it's beautiful English.
Well, he's 200 years old. It had a long time to learn it.
He really did. He's reluctant to show them the eternal youth secret, though. Reluctant.
She's tied up in the tent. The kid goes to untie her with permission. She sneezes twice in the entire film, both times in the kid's face. You just know it's going to be the plot point. In the entire film, she sneezes twice, and both times are in this child's face. Doesn't say excuse me, doesn't say bless you, just sneezes twice in his face.
And he gets ill.
And then he gets sick.
Because his immune system can't handle it.
Yeah, these outsiders.
I love so much about that.
I think that's like an interesting idea of the white person coming into the tribe and giving them an illness.
Completely.
I mean, that's based on fucking history. But it's not like, oh, he's now ill, she gives him medicine, he is now healed, which is what this film does.
Very quickly, I might add.
So when Big Boss comes in with his mercs.
Oh, that's that scene on the plane where they're coming out of the plane. Well, there's a private jet they come out of.
I thought it was helicopter. Okay,
that's private jet because the door coming out is so small, or they're just so big.
Well, the first guy, oh my god, he is the battle toad.
He's huge.
What got me is they're all wearing urban camouflage to go into the Amazon. They're all in the grey camouflage.
It's amazing, and when they're traipsing through the jungle themselves, they look like they are extras used for a film. The way they are holding,
is that because they're extras?
What? But the fact they're not giving anything more to make them stand out like they're not extras. They're not trying.
The only one who really stood out of all of them was the first guy,
the big
massive hench guy.
But
I was thinking, is that a wrestler?
I mean,
he's got glasses on. He's got how it's not.
Wasn't Bobby Lashley?
But he could have been.
Bobby Lashley.
He was just ripped. It was Itchy and Scratchy when Itchy just. Which one's the mouse? Which one's the car? When he just works up and then he thinks, oh, I could pop him like a balloon. He's hench.
Yeah.
He's ripped.
The chafing.
He's so big, he's got proper tits. His pecs are popping.
It bothered me, the camo, I noticed that as well. The way they're holding their assault rifles. It all just looks so slapdash and not thought of.
Yeah.
I know
these are the costumes we have in the wardrobe department. These are the weapons we have. Choose.
We've jumped right ahead.
Which is
We're
good.
not going through the film, but basically, like we said, most of the film is our team trying to communicate with the snake tribe, trying to get away from the snake as it's chasing them constantly. This happens maybe 3 times in the film. Snake attacks,
I think possibly
someone gets
more.
killed,
I
they
mean,
run,
yeah.
snake attacks, someone gets killed. We get a classic Halloween body falls as it's hanging. Snake had time to do that.
Yeah.
Hang up a body.
And the snake apparently, when it killed this guy, it just tore his stomach a little bit,
Yeah.
so his intestines come out and nothing else.
We get a blood splatter on the camera.
No, we don't. We get some CGI red on the camera.
Oh, was it CGI?
It looked like they just put some red filter and just pushed it onto the
Oh,
camera.
I thought we got a little bit of a splatter, but
You think
it
they
might...
use real blood? Come on.
Hey, they obviously used some sort of red paint for her shirt because there was a little bit of that. Obviously, yeah, we mentioned Susan.
Another thing you notice in this film with the kind of uncontacted Amazon tribe, apart from the guy who can speak English, is all the women are wearing kind of tribal bras. Because it's a made-for-TV movie, there can't have any nudity in it.
Yeah, yep. And as far as the tribe, like you mentioned, their huts are beautifully clean,
Oh yeah, very clean.
very neat and organised.
Also, one of those other things, they're all perfectly groomed. All the men have perfectly shaved beards. There's no body hair on anyone at all in the village.
No,
The main guy's snake tattoo looks like he drew it on with a biro.
in the middle of his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although originally, the first time we see him is when they're sacrificing the goat.
Mhm.
And I thought that was very King Kong, kind of the sacrifice, the tribal people.
Yes.
But he's wearing his kind of Steve Austin style jacket. And
It's a vest jacket.
but like Austin. Well, he's the rattlesnake. That wasn't intentional. I'm really happy.
He worked
But,
on that one.
Because of the way it's open, we only see the middle part of his chest. We see the one snake. Because at that point in the film,
We don't
notice the multiple-headed snake.
Yep.
It's not till later on we see him with the jacket more open. You see it's a 3-headed snake on his chest. They drew on with a biro.
Do you think they thought through production? Let's add another one. Let's add another head.
Until
Come
you
on.
get to the end of the film. Okay, we've got
Just
15
put-
heads.
Just put a few more heads on it. That'll make it scarier.
At one point, the snake, when he's killing the mercenaries, kind of ducks its head in and out, and it's completely disemboweled the guy. How? It hasn't bit. It looks like he has a very sharp nose. This snake
Yeah.
just completely eviscerates them. Like, what the hell?
They offer the tribe money to get Susan back.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with money? Dollary dues. Amazon dollary dues. Why does Susan get kidnapped? Do you remember that point?
They run off the big snake. Sorry, the Snakeking. Naga. Naga
Yes.
attacks them when they're going through kind of the mangrove swamp area.
Yep.
And they split up as they run.
Okay.
I think that was it.
Okay.
You know the mangrove swamp where he shoots a log because he thinks it's a snake? Or thinks it's an alligator?
Yeah.
Or the same mangrove swamp where we keep seeing alligators in the water and then there's no point they're involved. And the same mangrove swamp where the water is about maybe 4 foot deep, but the entire fucking Naga is under the water and comes straight up, having not made a ripple on the surface.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
I also love with the setting itself, which we've kind of... There's nothing that states that it's not the Amazon, but I think we can tell it's not the actual Amazon. It doesn't feel like a jungle. It doesn't feel lived. It doesn't feel wild enough. The ground is very flat.
Especially when they're going to the cave where the kind of fountain of youth or whatever it is.
Ah, the set cave.
Yeah.
The set.
Just not so much the cave. The path leading into it.
Yeah.
It's just like a driveway.
Yeah. It may as well just be polystyrene cave. Yeah. And especially when they get to the cave, which they discover the fountain of eternal youth.
Here's one thing I liked about this film. The water in the fountain looks scummy and disgusting.
Which it should.
Which is exactly.
It should.
I don't want the fountain of youth to be perfectly clear water. It
No.
needs to look like absolute trash. And it looked like, oh God, is that just snake jizz?
It's got a lovely light shining on it as well.
Oh, there's a hole in
Perfectly.
it. There is a wonderful hole directly.
So, it's
Trash.
Well, that was the point. It's meant to be trash. I wrote down specifically as well. There were 2 lines that I laughed at as well. Susan, we're running out of time here. Matt. Susan's right. We're running out of time here. Like, I heard what she said. You all heard what she said. Why did he need to establish what she said? There's a lot of...
Also, Matt is this experienced rainforest guy
Spider
who
killer.
knows all of... Despite that he knows everything, he walks directly next to a snake on the ground that's not hidden by a shrub. It's not. It's just sat there, hissing at them as they walk past, and he walks right next to it and gets bitten by it.
Oh,
How fucking thick is he?
That knocks him out for a while, doesn't it? The film, yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
snake venom that knocks you unconscious and then you're fine about fully rested a day later.
Just knocks you out. Just knocks you out for a bit. Makes you
So,
sleepy.
yeah, he's out. He gets carried to their to the snake people's village. And then later on, when the mercenaries arrive, he rocks up to try and fight them, and he's got his gun and everything with him, which he didn't have with him in the camp.
No.
Which we dropped when he was bitten by the... But he has it. Now he's fine. He's got it.
It's fine.
Also, he's got his hat, which he didn't have with him at all either.
It's fine.
He's got redressed and re-got his gear.
It's absolutely fine.
I did not enjoy this film. At all. It's not bad enough to be good bad. It's that annoying level of it's not the worst thing ever, but it's shockingly bad.
I didn't enjoy it.
I
but
endured it.
I wasn't bored like I was with Frankenfish.
I'm the other way. I was so bored with this film, I kept checking how long was left.
Okay.
And at one point I was like, oh great, it's going to be almost over. A half hour into the film, like, oh god.
They're both about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I think Frankenfish was maybe 85.
I think both of them are a 2-hour sci-fi movie. So with the ads.
Commercials.
So
yes.
they're both around
Yeah,
95 minutes.
What else did I write down some more notes?
See what I wrote for this trash.
Cut this. It's fine. Trevor Hart's.
Absolute bitch about the spider kill. More about the spider kill. More about the spider. King Kong vibes. I mentioned that. The Mercs. You mentioned that. Disemboweling. Snake. Oh, all my notes have already gone through. The venom being spat.
So there was a couple more things I wrote down. So the fountain of youth that they're after is the goal for the whole film. It is stated by. Do we get a name of our head of the tribe?
We do, but we can't remember it.
Head tribesman.
He could be a snake man.
I think he is a snakes man. He states if Naga dies, no more water and no snake people.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes.
You remember that?
I'm pretty sure that he said it was like the snake skin is what gives this kind of fountain its properties.
Okay.
So, because it does look like around the back of the fountain, there's snake skin.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing when the snake sheds its skin, it always sheds it in this cave,
And
that's what
that's
gives the
what, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
You're
but
guessing.
That's what I
That's
got
fine.
from what he said and the set.
Yeah, the set. That set though, there's the shot. So with the ending, when we're in this cave, our main big bad evil guy, Dr. John, Dr.
Evil,
Dr. John, he gets. This is where they had to put in more snake heads to do this kill because every head gets a limb.
And then
rips
there's
the
one
limbs
that doesn't get his head, so he can keep screaming. Instead, it gets kind of the scruff of his neck almost.
So that's why we had to add more heads to this monster.
Although it had more heads when she was giving it her kind of offering. When she's holding up the offering that the snake tribe guy gave her to appease the snake heads so that she wouldn't be killed for being in the fountain area. When it comes in, it's got like maybe 10 fucking heads.
Yeah.
But they're not all the same size. Some are smaller.
They're further back.
Oh, okay.
This one's closer to
this snakehead is near.
Yes.
This snakehead is far away.
Exactly. It's simple, Nick. How could you not get that?
Look, they got Dougal to do the CGI.
But the thing with them adding more heads, it feels like they even did it earlier on because they do the sort of limb rip off earlier on with I don't even think they credited it. It's a female and a male. It's Sid and it's not important. They get killed, hung up.
Sid and Nancy.
Sid and Nancy, they get killed earlier on. And again, it's the same sort of picking off a limb, and then eating whole. And the CGI actually is probably the worst right then. I remember specifically that scene is really bad.
Yeah, because you've got
They've been hung up.
So you got the snake heads, but then the background is like the snake body kind of rippling, and it was CGI on CGI, and it looked awful.
It looked really bad.
Put a clip it didn't look good at any point in the film, but it looked as bad as possible at this particular part.
Yeah. So with the final shot, there was a few points where I laughed at this, especially with Susan sneezing and him getting a cold.
I laughed at the end where it's like, oh man, so we did this all for nothing. Oh, I hope I've found something that could last for all eternity.
Let's kiss.
Look, our female lead and our male lead have become romantic interests.
Within a day.
And a lot of deaths.
Yeah. Very similar to Frankenfish. She wasn't the female lead at the start. She became the female lead later on in the film.
Yeah,
Whereas
I know.
in Snakeking,
Susan
she was the female lead for the entire film.
Mm-hmm. The final shot of the film where they're smooching, they're making out, they're making whoopee on the floor right by the fountain of eternal youth,
and all the bodies,
is a great overhead shot of the snake's head, the main snake.
Oh, it just comes in, looks at them, and then leaves.
Backing up through the back tunnel. And if you look at that back tunnel, you can see there's like a flat wall where it's clearly the back of the set.
Yeah.
And it comes in. Oh, sorry, my bad, my mistake. Back up. I know, obviously, I don't know. I mean, it says here, comedy, fantasy, horror, sci-fi, thriller.
I don't think they were going for comedy.
I don't know. There's no intentional comedy moments in there, unless the creators...
They're laughing at it, not with it.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Because I don't think the creators either, like you said, intended for comedy or know what comedy is. Because there are moments that are unintentionally funny in this film.
When she sneezes in the child's face twice.
He's ill. Shit.
If she had sneezed in one other scene before then, I'd give it a pass. You
build it up.
But she's not sneezed at all in the film. And then she sneezes twice in a child's face. And then she doesn't sneeze again afterwards either.
Do it at the meeting at the beginning of the film, in the press conference. Just one of those, I'm not feeling well. Just keep going.
Or in the helicopter, because you might think, maybe it's the altitude is messing with the sinuses.
Yeah, anything like that. I mean, it's a great final shot with that snake. Just, I love it. Just coming in and backing up. Let them have their moment.
I was just going to shed my skin, but if you're busy, I'll come back later.
Oh, Snakeman. Snakeman,
fighter of the Frankenfish.
I don't really have. There is one more thing. There's like a serpent statue early on in the film.
There's one outside the fountain of polystyrene.
Yeah, and the statue. It's bad design. It's three-headed.
Yeah,
it's a three-headed statue, much like the tattoo. Drawing on Amazon Tribe Man's chest. It's not what the monster is, but whatever. We never actually come back to that statue about what it is. It's just there.
Yeah,
it's probably just symbolising
set dressing
what's going on. Yeah,
we can't just have a cave. We need a statue.
Yeah. Do you know what?
What?
I got Ace Ventura vibes with this film.
Okay.
With how unserious the film was coming across.
Okay, but Ace Ventura was always a comedy. It was meant to be a comedy. That was their plan.
But it was in the jungle.
Okay.
It was Ace Ventura was in the jungle when nature calls.
Okay, well, I'm thinking of maybe George of the Jungle then.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying the plot of Ace Ventura.
I love that film.
I'm not saying the characters. I'm just saying it's another jungle film from the 90s, late 90s. Ace Ventura, second one. First one was 94.
Yeah.
Yeah. But goofy jungle film.
But it's not supposed to be. That's the problem.
No, I know it's not supposed to be.
I'd say it's more like Anaconda. It's snakes, it's jungles. Anaconda had bad CGI, but not this bad.
Oh, and it's got a snake in it.
Anaconda's also more watchable than this.
Yes, completely. You're aware of the new Anaconda film?
They're remaking it, yes. Oh, who's got in it? I saw someone is in it who was interested by.
I have. If I have zero interest in it, that's an understatement.
It might be Jack Black.
It's Paul Rudd and Jack Black.
It was Jack Black.
I am. No. God, no. I don't want anything to do with Jack Black.
Why?
I can't stand him.
Really?
He's not funny. He is not funny at all. I hate.
Have you never seen
Jack Black?
Not liked him in anything? Like
no.
School of Rock?
Not really.
It's glorious.
No, I didn't. I don't like Jack Black.
About Tenacious D, the group.
He just annoys the fuck out of me. Can't stand him.
I mean, he was in Waterworld.
Yeah.
Have you seen Waterworld?
Yeah.
Do you not remember Jack Black?
He was in Mars Attacks. Gets killed really quickly. That was great.
Oh, I still know what he did last summer.
Yeah.
He was the Jamaican Dreads guy.
Wasn't he just?
He died as well.
Anyway.
I like Jack Black. I find him far less offensive than a lot of people. Also, in lockdown, he was very funny. Doing kind of videos. He did the time warp with a load of celebrities just over Zoom, and it was very funny. Okay, I get you don't care, but...
Yeah, you're not going to win me over.
I find Jack Black far less offensive than some celebrities and some comedians.
Okay.
And I think he's very funny in some films. I think School of Rock is absolutely glorious. I love the film.
Well, yeah, the remake of Anaconda is them going to the location, I think, of their favourite film, the character's favourite film, Anaconda, and then an anaconda turns up. I believe that is what the...
That sounds bizarre.
Yeah, but it's a Jack Black film. It's going to be awesome. Also,
it's got Paul Rudd. That'd be funny.
I like younger Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd in like Wet Hot American Summer is amazing.
I quite like him as Ant-Man.
Yeah.
He was fun in Friends.
He was good in Friends, yeah.
I like him on any appearance on the Conan O'Brien show.
Anything on Conan is carried by Conan.
But it's the Mac and Me bits.
Oh, okay. No, I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes, Mac and Me. Yeah.
Whenever he throws to a quick clip of his latest film, it's
yeah.
just Mac and Me, the kid in the wheelchair going off a cliff.
But we digress. Yeah, that is...
We digress because we don't want to talk about
Anaconda.
Snakeman.
Well, I think we're done. I think I mean, both these films, there's very little... There's normally very...
What do you mean we're done? We've only talked about one of the films.
We're done with this film. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
But like I mentioned to you earlier, there's very little meat on a lot of these films unless we get a gem. And the last gem we properly got, in my opinion, was Funny Man, which was a British comedy clown film. And it's great. We talked for ages about it. We talked nearly over an hour about that.
Okay.
So, Snakeman / Snakeking, that's that. Okay, Frankenfish.
So, Frankenfish.
Just before we get into Frankenfish, let's go through the posters of let's go through some of the honorable mentions that didn't make it. These are some of the ones I personally just found as I was trying to find.
Also, you put out that Reddit post trying to get people to assist finding because it wasn't easy.
Yeah,
to find
it really
unusual
wasn't
monsters.
easy.
Monsters easy. Unusual monsters was the tricky part. Meatball Machine.
Yeah, this was the first. Now, Grant, I didn't even look up what half of the plots, half of these plots were because I wanted to be surprised.
Based on the poster.
What? I think this is a Japanese film.
Okay.
I think you are going to get the same sort of vibes as like a Tokyo Gore Police or extreme, just over the top. Meatball Machine. That's an unusual monster. Not really sure what it is.
I'm seeing spaghetti.
Yeah, so there's that. We then had Abominable.
But that's not the Abominable Monster isn't an unusual monster.
No, it's not. But it was hard. It was so hard to find these films.
Although I'm pretty sure that bloke, I recognise him from something.
He does look familiar.
Yeah, maybe he just has one of those faces.
He does. It's a very boring poster.
Some things are better left unfound.
What a tagline! What a tagline!
Like this movie.
What we got next?
Feast
3.
No, Feast is too good and too fun.
I know you've seen one. Have you seen all of them?
No, but I just assume it's going to go on the same.
Yeah, one is great. It's a great B movie.
It's brilliant.
It's just brilliant. 2 and 3 really ham it up.
Okay.
Like 3 is awful. 2 is acceptable. But they just, you can see, look how many, there's 3 beasts. I know there's more, there's quite a few in
it does say 3.
Yeah, but there's a lot. And they're kind of overexposed. Whereas in 1, you barely see it till the end. It's not great. I believe there's a mech at the end of this film as well.
Okay.
Like a big mech robot thing. Yeah. What we got? We've got Minotaur.
Oh, you see, I saw this and thought about it. Because it's got Tony Todd in it.
Has it really?
It's got Tony Todd and it's got...
Rest in peace, Tony Todd.
Oh God, what's his name? Shit, he plays Venom.
Not Tom Hardy.
It's got Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy and Tony Todd are
No
in Minotaur.
way.
Yep. It's also got a few other people who are like named. This film had a massive budget.
That could have been fun.
I don't know if the Minotaur is an unusual enough monster because it's part of kind of mythology.
How often has it been done though?
It's a good point.
How, you know, like a anaconda, a big snake. It's been done before.
Yeah, but not a big multi-headed snake.
Well, that's true. Curse the god, slay
So
the
I'm
beast.
just
it
looking up
says.
who's in this film.
Yeah, go for it. I'm just going to move on to the next one.
Man
Thing. Now, what's weird about this is it says Marvel Studios presents. I don't
What?
remember.
Like Swamp Thing or something.
Or yeah, something.
But also, no, this can't be right because Marvel Studios didn't exist that early, did they?
No, and the fact it says from the producers of Spider-Man, Daredevil, and X-Men and Blade, it's yeah. I don't know how they're really. This is Marvel. I don't think it's Marvel Studios. It's Marvel Films. Around the time when we had, like I said, Spider-Man, Daredevil. You know, like Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Okay, Minotaur.
Yeah.
7 million budget.
Oh wow.
Tom Hardy is the lead.
What? What year?
2006.
Still quite late for Tom Hardy.
Tony Todd. An actor called Lex Shrapnel. That's a hell of a name.
Wow.
Rutger Hauer.
Oh, the Hitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, just... Yeah. There we go.
Oh, I kind of wish we'd done Minotaur now.
So, Man Thing.
Yeah, have a look at Man Thing quickly. I'm curious. Again, I just grabbed these and...
Is a fictional character from Marvel.
Yeah.
So it is a Marvel... Okay. I'm just laughing at the design. Looks pretty unusual.
It's very Cthulhu-esque.
It has got the Cthulhu kind of face.
Yeah.
It's a large, slow-moving swamp thing.
Is it? No, you can't say that.
Man Thing is a 2005 monster film based on the Marvel comic superhero of the same name. I don't recognise any of the actors.
Yeah.
Matthew Leneves, Rachel Taylor, Jack Thompson, Conan Stevens.
But that's fine. That's what we wanted for these films. Not to really recognise them.
But it was produced by Marvel Enterprises.
Yeah, that's why
Fierce Entertainment, Screen and Movie. So I'm guessing since then they've rebranded it as Marvel Studios.
Because Iron Man 1 was the
Yeah.
first for that. Okay.
But, it was originally released on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Of course it was.
It had a budget of $7.5 million.
That's what I'm saying. I like this era that we got for this because this was the sort of era I was sort of trying to stay up late to watch these shitty films.
That's not a bad poster, to be honest.
It's not
draws you
bad.
in.
No, it's not bad. Shapeshifter.
Jesus.
I'm getting
It's got a
bad
bit-
Spawn vibes from
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Did you know the director of Spawn directed Frankenfish?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You were going to bring that up?
I was going to point it out.
Sent from hell to feed on flesh.
Got a pentagram. We got the word
We got
shapeshifter
a-
done in like really early word art.
We got just a monster. There's nothing to describe it. It's a monster.
Well, it looks like its face is made out
Demon.
of pizza.
Yeah, it's a pizza monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's burnt margarita face with glowing eyes and big gnashy uneven teeth.
Margaritaville. The Ruins, we talked about that earlier.
I enjoyed this film.
Yeah.
It's also, that's a really nice poster.
Yeah, it's great. I would have made her shoulders down.
Be a bit more pyramid.
Pyramid, exactly. Yeah, you
I think that's what they were going for. But
Yeah. Dead Meat, you brought this up.
yeah, this is the zombie cows.
It is indeed. Now, you don't get that impression from the poster.
No, it looks like Leatherface.
It looks like I want to say snuff film. It looks like an awful, like a film.
I'm seeing Wish.com Leatherface.
Yeah.
But hey, Tom, it's your black and red film posters that you like to talk about.
99.9%
Hey, Tom,
of them.
there's that bird you like to argue with.
It's 99% good. Sometimes one slips through. And then this was going to be my pick as well. She Creature. This is about mermaid. Can you see it? Can you see it down the bottom?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I also looked at this film as a possible choice.
Beautiful, seductive, and totally deadly. Now, this was about a mermaid. Again, it didn't feel too unusual to me. I know we haven't probably really had many mermaid monster films, but
I mean, the closest is Cabin in the Woods. I want to see a merman.
yeah, I would also say The Lighthouse, but that's not really
Yeah, good point.
a key main feature of it.
Actually, I was thinking the other day with Eggers. He makes films that I really enjoy and have no desire to watch a second time.
Oh, really? Oh, The Witch, I'll watch over and over again. I love The Witch. The Witch, sorry.
It's like I've seen Lighthouse. Watch it. That's an amazing film.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to watch it again, though.
Oh,
Nosferatu. Don't want to watch it again.
Really? Oh, I could watch them over again.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's just
No, that's fine. Personal preference for sure.
whereas I've seen The Ruins, I think 3 times, and it's on your list of possible shit movies. So.
And this is why having two people on the podcast that differ slightly is the best thing to have.
The Ruins is fun.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying
It's too
you're
good for this
saying
film.
You would rather watch a film like The Ruins over and over again rather than something like an Eggers film, which is fine. But I like the fact we have difference of opinions.
I find with I've watched The Ruins more than once, but like the first time I watched it, the second time it was on my second screen. Whereas I can't do that with an Eggers film.
No, you cannot. No.
It's like I
that.
absolutely love Baby Driver.
Mm-hmm.
I think have you seen it?
No, Edgar Wright film though, right?
Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Jamie
Foxx.
Miles Teller.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so good, but it's one of the reasons it's good is the soundtrack. It's so perfectly
I heard
timed,
about that.
everything.
Yes. Oh.
But it's a film where I've watched it and I've put it on a second screen to rewatch it, and I end up just watching it in its entirety and not doing anything else because you can't half watch it. You have to watch it. Same with Rec. I have to watch it because I'm reading the subtitles.
Oh yeah,
I can't not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Our final film was The Cave. I think this is kind of
That's
self-explanatory.
a decent poster.
It's a decent poster. I think it's quite self-explanatory.
It's about a cave.
Something evil in the cave. It's quite a pixelated picture. Beneath heaven lies hell. Beneath hell lies the cave.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's probably a toned down descent.
No, it's Satan's basement. It's where he keeps his pool table.
Oh, does he?
And the water softener.
In the rumpus room. Right.
Now you got a lawsuit on your hands. They don't call me hell fats because I'm morbidly obese.
Frankenfish.
So, first off, there are more actors in this film that I recognise than in your film. Your film has Stephen Baldwin.
I recognised 2 actors in this film. And
I'm going to guess it was Bobby Elvis.
From Sons of Anarchy.
Yep.
Yep.
And the crazy guy who gets killed near the start. The one who's catfisting.
No.
Oh, okay. Who?
Jeff, our big bad evil guy in this one.
Oh, okay.
Because I think I mentioned just before you came in, he was in 24. I recognise him from 24.
Okay. So, the guy who was catfishing at the beginning.
Oh, the opening scene.
No. The opening scene's the guy who dies.
Yes.
The guy who later on when they're going in to find.
Elmer.
Elmer.
Yes. Elmer.
Elmer was in Prison Break.
Oh, I never watched Prison Break.
Okay, in Prison Break he played DB Cooper, who is a real...
I know all about DB.
Okay,
I'm fascinated with DB Cooper.
Okay, so in Prison Break there is a guy who they all assume is DB Cooper, but he always claims he isn't, but it turns out maybe he is.
I love the story of DB Cooper.
Okay. The main guy in Frankenfish is also from Sons of Anarchy.
Sam Rivers, his character name.
Yeah, so Sam Rivers...
Not Limp Bizkit bassist.
The actor is... I can't remember.
Sorry, I got it here for you.
That's good, because I can't remember any of the names.
Tory Kittles.
So Tory Kittles,
our
in
main
Sons of
actor.
Anarchy, he plays... You know, I can't remember the urban gang. I think it may be called the 9-1s or something.
Okay. Been a long time since I watched Sons of Anarchy.
So basically the black gang who buy guns from Sam Crow.
Yeah.
He is their leader.
Oh, okay.
So he was kind of a recurring guest in Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, I know who you're saying. I know who you mean.
Who else was in this that I recognise? Oh, so the guy who the guy who calls in the big bad guy says, "I found
Anton.
the fish." Okay, he was first of all he was in Prison Break again. He was Bill Kim, one of the FBI guys, but he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
He plays a character called Ronald Yee.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's only in 2 episodes of the entire show, but you remember him because the main the captain in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Do you ever watch it?
I'm aware of it, yeah.
So Holt is very straight-laced, but he gets really excited when Ronald Yee turns up. It's Dr. Ronald Yee! I pity those who don't like he. He really likes Yee.
Okay.
So Yee's in... Yeah, anyway, so...
You recognise him, yeah.
And also then Bobby Elvis from Sons of Anarchy.
Mark Boone Jr. Yep, he was... I mean, he's a standout.
Yeah.
You know who he is, yeah.
Also, in Sons of Anarchy, he is, in my opinion, one of the two best characters of the whole show.
He's a very good character in that show.
Bobby
Again, it's
Elvis
been a long time since I watched it, but yes.
Opie.
Yes.
For me, they are the two standouts of the
Unfortunately,
whole show.
yes. Yes.
But anyway, again, we're not talking about this film.
Frankenfish, we get an incredibly tame opening teaser of what's to come scene of this film.
Yeah, we don't see the monster at all. We just get someone pulled into the water, tries to escape, and then they're dead.
But the thing that I think, it's a very bread and butter scene.
Yeah.
Many films do this. The score and the audio is awful. There's nothing impactful with the audio when in any action in this film.
There was nothing in Snakeking. It was just generic jungle music.
But there's nothing.
Not
that the drum and bass. That would be great. But there's nothing. There's no loud booms. No loud like jump scare like audio pieces. There's nothing like that in this film. This film's audio is super tame. And that
until
really
we get to the closing credits, when it has its own song.
I mean, that's the thing that stood out the most to this whole film audio-wise.
It was a glorious song.
Yeah, the sound design is terrible in this film.
So he dies, and then the sheriff gets the body, and we need to go and find where this body's coming from. Okay.
Yeah.
So the local sheriff calls in, like, the city to send... Can you send someone down to look at the body?
Medical examiner.
And they send down, whatever the character's name that you said. Sam meets up with someone from local bird and wildlife, and then they go in, because Sam used to be from the area. He knows the swampy areas.
Yeah, the bayou.
In Alabama, and they kind of go along.
Yeah, it's like New Orleans or something like that. Yeah,
it was shot in Alabama, but I think it's New Orleans set. Yeah,
yeah.
So they find Elmer, the local guy who helps them, kind of directs them to where there's four or five houseboats
just placed
together
neatly next to each other like that. A nice little bit of the bayou, little lake, if you will, the bayou.
But I like the way that like one of the houseboats looks kind of ramshackle, like they've built it over time. The other one is clearly like a prefab they've just got there themselves.
Yeah, they've all got their little characteristics.
Yeah, it's like they're not all the same, which is nice. They're all a bit unique.
Yeah,
but no. So you've got. I'm just going to call her Voodoo Lady because she may as well be. She's your stereotypical voodoo character.
Yeah, so I've got the names here. So she's Gloria. So the main characters, Sam and biologist Mary. They're the two on the boat.
Yeah.
Who we are led to believe for most of the film is our lead female.
Yeah, until she dies.
That came out of nowhere. You do not expect that.
I know, it's a good one. It's good when she gets killed. You're surprised. Also, the way she dies is fucking superb. But one thing is you think, oh, this is going to be your typical male lead, female lead. They're going to end up being romantic. And then it turns out that she's lesbian. So, oh, great. So they're not setting up the stereotypical male and female get together towards the end. Great.
Yep. No, I caught that. That is a nice, it's not so much a twist, but it's just a nice different direction to go in.
She had a line kind of trying to ask the girl out, got turned down pretty quickly, and then just left it.
Yeah.
It didn't become her whole character.
It's something along. She's having a conversation with Gloria's daughter, Eliza, who
becomes the female lead.
Yes, who becomes the female lead. And they're talking about Eliza's partner, Dan.
Yeah.
And
Dan is also Eliza's boss.
Yeah.
As we find out.
But I can't remember what leads to Mary saying, "What about women?" What leads to that?
Yeah, I can't. They're having a conversation. I can't remember what it is though. Yeah,
no.
But it turns out she kind of maybe accepted Dan's request to go out with her because he has his own boat and she's trying to help her mum move.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you? We've got a few other characters. We've got the two sort of very much local couple.
Yeah. Elmer's niece and her husband.
Yeah, and we've got her
husband, who I think he calls is Naked Dan or something.
Yeah. And we got the badass that lives on he doesn't play by any of his rules, not even his own.
He lives on the other side of the little estuary area.
We've all got these stereotypical characters. We got the scientist, we got the badass, we got the locals. I want to say Hicks, but we got the locals.
Yeah.
We got the superstitious person.
Yep.
We've got Dan, the cocky one-liner, just arsehole.
Yeah, he's not the bad guy, but he's a dickhead.
No, he's not. He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
And these are very classic stereotypical characters that you'll find in... I would specifically say this era of B-movies. You always find them. But this film follows the same pattern, really does. Snakeman / Snakeking. The incident has happened. We have to send our crack team. Not crack team comes later. We have to send our scientists in. Incident progresses and gets worse. Then we have to send our crack team in with Big Bad Evil. They get it bad. And we live happy ever after. They really do follow the same pattern. I've also realised my notes are back on my phone, so I'm going to have to just quickly check what I did write down about this one.
Yeah, so they go back up the river to where a boat has washed up, and it's been there for 3 months, we find out.
This is the main fishing boat that are potential fish.
So it's the boat where the genetically modified, I think they call them skullhead fish or something.
Yeah.
It's where they were being kind of transported. And then there was a hurricane and the ship got washed up. And the fish escaped.
Yeah.
And we learned there were 3 of them. We learn this later on in the film. Because super cool badass guy.
He's such a badass.
He kills one of the fish. He kind of lures it up to jump onto his boat. Turns out these fish can kind of breathe out of water. Lures it onto the boat and then shoots his head off. It's like, yeah. Then he cuts the fish open, pulls his heart out to cook his heart. And a second one just jumps up and kills him.
Yeah.
But this is really fun, this part, because the fish gets up, kind of flops about a bit, kills him, knocks some stuff over, knocks stuff into his grill where he was cooking the fish heart, and knocks over the propane tank. And you think, oh, it's going to explode. And it doesn't. And it just keeps getting hotter and hotter, and you're waiting for the explosion.
It takes a while.
What happens is, the gun he dropped heats up enough to fire one of the bullets, and it kills who we thought was the female lead.
Mary, right in her eye, basically. Just shoots her right in the face.
That was a wonderfully unexpected death.
It is, because you are so built up to believe this is our female lead.
Yeah. And she doesn't get killed by the fish. She gets shot by a gun that was dropped.
She wasn't a great actress either, I don't think. I mean, not many people in this film were. I mean, not many people in both films were great at acting, especially Stephen Baldwin. But I noticed that with her, she wasn't that great.
Stephen Baldwin always looks like he's trying to remember his lines. kind of
confused. Huh?
Yeah, well, she said we're running out of time. That's what they did. They just got other characters to say his lines so he could then repeat them.
Line. No one is really, in my opinion, overly likable in this film, though. Even our lead, Sam, is not that likable in our main lead hero, I don't think.
I liked Elmer before he died.
Elmer was all right. Yeah, Elmer was okay. He dies by getting dragged away by the fish.
Yeah.
Don't think you see him die, do you? See him die off camera?
I think you kind of see the blood come up from the water.
Similar to the first death, where you don't see the fish, you see the blood bubbling up. Like, what could it have been?
It was good, because if you show it and it's bad CGI, it really stands out. I'd rather have a less is more approach than get the Snake King on screen 400 times and it look absolute trash.
All right. Look, what do you expect with these films?
At least they built a CGI spooky fish.
They built practical effects.
They built
a CGI.
I think that's the second time I've said this in an episode. Yeah, at least they made a practical spooky fish.
They did. I did point out as well in my notes, the practical effects were good in this film. When we get back at the beginning of the film, where they're examining the body of the guy who gets killed, the fisherman that gets killed in the opening scene, they're examining the body. It's a good prosthetic body. And they're stating, this can't have been a shark, this can't have been a crocodile. What did this?
Yeah.
Because the bites and the tears are just so abnormal, and it looks really nice. It's a nice design. When we get to the decapitation...
It's not a boating accident.
The decapitation kill of... I can't remember his name. Husband of the local couple.
Naked Dan or something.
Roland and Bobby. They're next to each other here on the IMDb. We'll go with them. This fella.
I think it was Naked Roland.
We'll say Roland.
Naked Roland. Give him his full name.
Naked Roland. He gets decapitated because he's looking over the boat.
Yeah.
And the fish you don't see the fish bite it, but he just pops back up and his head's spurting blood. And that's a nice little effect, pumping the blood. Can't remember how she dies. Do you remember?
Oh, she's in the boat going across and it gets capsized.
That's it.
By the giant fish of doom.
So yeah, we get some nice practical effects, especially like the fish as well, like you stated. It's not full fish, you get some like just small shots of parts of the fish's body. The rest is CGI, which is
no, you do get a full fish when it's jumped up on board.
You get a full fish, or is it like a head, or
no? When super awesome dude is
badass
cut open the fish to pull the heart out.
Oh, yes,
that's a full.
Yeah, well, I suppose it is.
It's a full prosthetic.
Yeah. So yeah, the prosthetics and practical effects, they put some money into it. I don't really know if we got a budget number actually on here.
I'd imagine this cost less than
it's a TV
Snake
movie.
King.
It is a TV movie.
Yeah, but Snakeking, they had to pay Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, all the actors we've named that we recognise from different roles are from before their roles. This is before Prison Break. This is before.
Oh yes, yeah. You're right. I don't think we get a budget on this, but it can't have been much. Was it sci-fi?
Yeah, it's another. They're both sci-fi.
Sci-fi productions. Yeah. So they may have had. Sorry, Frankenfish is one of 3 films based on. Hang on, based on the snakehead fish incident in Crofton, Maryland Pond. Frankenfish is one of the 3 films based on the incident.
They did mention this in the film. Talk about a non-native species being introduced to an area and taking it over. So there was the
like a bullfrog in Australia.
Yeah, exactly like that Simpsons joke. So the idea was that it actually happened in, I think it was Alabama, where this fish ended up in a lake and it killed everything around it, and they had to basically poison the whole lake to kill all these fish
because it was messing with it
ruined the local ecosystem. Yeah.
So 3 films based on the incident, Frankenfish being one of the titles, the others being Snakehead Terror and Swarm of the Snakehead, because we find out these are snakehead fishes. Yeah, basically.
But our ones are genetically modified snakehead fish. It's bigger and can jump out of the water.
By scientists.
Yeah. Just ask this scientician. He'll tell you that snakehead fish.
That's right.
Well, Troy McClure would like this film because that's fishes.
Hey, I just ate a whole plate of dingamagoo. So, yeah. I mean, where do we go? Where do we go half these films? You try to keep a structure when you're talking about these films, but some of this is all set among the houseboats.
So the fish attack the houseboats and they start sinking the houseboats.
Yeah.
So they're now trying to get on the roof, and Mama Voodoo Lady Snake bites her legs off. Dan's on top of her roof.
Yeah, they get higher and higher as they go.
Main guy and new female lead on top of the other roof, and everyone else is dead.
New female lead gets in a bucket. They've called it like a not a zip line, but like a line wire going across, cable going across from one of them, and she's in a bucket like winching her way across. I can't remember the reason why.
Okay, so
the exact reason why she has to go across.
Because Elmer's niece and naked husband, their houseboat is a prefab houseboat. So maybe its motor still works.
That's it.
Whereas all the other houseboats they kind of built as they were there.
That's it. Now, was it that houseboat where the propane gas that we talk, you know where I'm going with this, perfectly got to the point of it was hot enough to just explode, and it went
straight through the window.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It was the perfect placement, perfect shot. It couldn't have gone a meter or two to the left or right and it landed in the water. It had to go up and down into that specific houseboat.
Yep. Good shot.
And kaboom, we got the explosion. And she survives it, right? Or was she gone by then?
No, she was on the roof.
She
survives the film.
Yeah, I know she does.
Okay, sorry.
I know she does. I'm still baffled as to how she survived it, though. I know it the explosion propelled her, but...
So you've then got female lead, new female lead even, male lead, and Dan. Who's memorable. His name, apparently.
Yeah.
And then Big Bad rocks up on his airboat.
Our introduction to Big Bad.
He gets the phone call and he's angry.
He's been given head.
Oh, God, you're right, he is, yeah.
And whereas in Snakeking, our Big Bad is at a rental office, basically. Tippity tap tap tap. I need my snake.
It turns out that the actress giving him a head, her character is called Snake, so he was getting snake head.
How do we continue the episode now? I mean, how do we not
peak
just
of comedy?
How do we not just end it there? that is peak. She's crazy for him as well at that point. That scene. She's really crazy for him.
She's earning that extras budget.
She is. So yeah, Jeff gets the call. He's like, I'm gonna come sort it out myself. And then they turn up. He turns up with Anton, his lackey.
So you've got Ronald Yee, Anton. You've got Bobby Elvis. I can't remember his character name.
Oh yeah, him as well.
You've got main Big Bad. Yeah. And then I think there was the airboat driver and a extra person who can immediately die when they arrive.
Oh yeah, you've always got to have a few of them. Yeah.
So they arrive on the airboat and it's immediately bumped by a fish and they all fall off. Yeah. They all just boom straight away.
But the impact must have been severe. So you always need some sacrificial extras.
So yeah, the fish eat the airboat driver and everyone who isn't Ronald Yee, Bobby Elvis, and Big Bad. They're the three who survive.
Yeah. Who towards the end up linking up with our survivors of the houseboats.
Male lead, female lead, and Dan. To
then go and find the origin. The origin.
So they want to go and find. They want to go and find that boat.
Yeah.
They want to go and find the boat where they knew it was. Oh no, they don't. Sorry, no. Whilst our Big Bad and his mercenaries are on their way in, they go past the boat.
They go past it. Yeah.
It's the explosion that you mentioned that attracts them.
They see it in the distance. Yeah. They see. Yeah, that's it. And then they end up meeting up with them and grouping up. Yeah.
Then they want to go and find the nest.
Yes, the nest. And this is where we get a lot of people killed off here.
I mean, a lot of them are already dead because when they get set off for the nest, the only people alive are.
This is not where Anton and Joseph, Bobby.
Anton dies at the houseboats.
Oh, does he? Oh,
yeah. Yeah, because when they set off for the nest, the only people still alive are Big Bad, Bobby Elvis, male lead, new female lead, and Dan. They're the only ones who are alive. Everyone else has been eaten. They get to where they think the nest is because it's and it looks like a beaver dam almost. But
it does. It's really pathetic. It's really, but in a way, good. It doesn't look too silly.
Yeah. It looks like a fish could have built it, apparently. So they leave female lead and Dan in the airboat.
The fish build nests? I don't
know. No! But this is a genetically modified fish that can survive out of water.
Smart.
So Bobby Elvis, Big Bad, and male lead go into the nest.
Yeah.
At which point, Bobby Elvis quickly gives us some exposition. You've seen how big the males of these can get? I don't want to walk into that. And now we realise, there'll be a big bad fish.
It'll be the big one.
So Bobby Elvis dies by just disappearing. Literally, just bloop, pulled underwater, he's gone. Doesn't even scream. Just bloop. Then we're left with Big Bad and male lead.
Sam.
Marley basically just goes, fuck this, I'm out, and just leaves.
Yeah, we're left with Big Bad, Sam, Eliza, and Dan.
Big Bad starts shooting at the fish, which we don't see. He's kind of shooting at it. And then he gets eaten.
I always hate that in films, the blind firing. Where the characters sort of... I know they're panicking, but it's bang, 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 but they're everywhere.
When I say we don't see, I mean we don't see what he's firing at. Not that he's firing at...
No, I know we don't, but he's still not...
He's firing towards the camera where we are.
Yeah.
So I think it was just to kind of not show us the big fish straight away. Because they leave... Well, Sam's already left the nest. Big Bad goes to leave the nest, like, hey, wait for me, and then the fish eats.
The fish, which is just,
this is a giant fish.
Yeah, but they didn't really do much, in a way of changing its design. It's kind of just a bigger version.
Yeah, which is I much prefer. I don't want him to suddenly have it's the bigger fish. Let's give him wings.
I know, put a crown on it or something. Kingfish. Kingfish. I like
The fish used splash. It was not effective.
I like earlier on where they establish the size without showing it by finding one of its scales.
Yeah.
And like, oh my
I've
god,
never
it's
seen
huge.
a scale this size.
Yeah. That I quite like that.
So they run away on the airboat. They're being chased by the big fish. Sam breaks open the cage that protects the fan at the back of the airboat.
Yeah.
And then intentionally crashes into a tree so the fish can't stop and just swims into the fan and gets
It's chopped up. Yeah.
But whilst they're running away, before this happens, Dan falls out of the boat into some mud.
We come back to that at the end of the film.
So after the fish has been blitzed up and died,
Blended, if you will.
male lead and female lead.
Oh,
you've disappeared.
I think the battery's died on the webcam. I'll put a still image here. It's fine. Carry on.
Just for you, kind of.
Yeah.
Mr. Clark, don't take your anger out on me.
No. Anyway.
So, do you want to maybe put a charger on it?
Oh, it's dead. It's fine.
All
We're
cool.
coming to the end of Frankenfish. It's all good.
All right, I'll just do all the talking for both of us. Wait,
I'm still here.
He's
I just
gone, he's
visually
gone.
my
I'm doing
image
an
is gone.
impression.
We'll put
throwing his voice.
we'll put an image of me up because I know people will want to see that.
So yeah, male and female lead talk. They flirt, covered in fish guts. And then the film fades to black and comes up quickly because we've got Dan kind of at the edge of the river, stuck in some mud.
Yeah.
And he suddenly gets attacked by lots of
Lots
baby
of little ones.
Frankenfish.
There's more of them.
And he dies. And the final shot of the film is him kind of screaming as he's killed. And then we get the credits.
We get the rap.
A lovely little song.
We get the rap.
Just when you thought it was safe outside, the tide is rising, nowhere to hide.
I think I can clip that and put it right here. I can put maybe 5-10 seconds right now and we won't get flagged.
No.
I don't think there's a single bit of copyright on that song. So enjoy.
Just when you thought it was safe outside, the tide keeps rising, nowhere to hide. Just when you thought it was safe outside, from the pain that'll quickly take your life.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed that.
It was
I know
fun.
we did.
It was fun. I liked the song.
It was different. It wasn't
It's
royalty free tense music.
It's not My Hand is Like a Shark Fin by LL Cool J.
My hand
is like a shark's fin.
My head is like a shark's fin.
I could have thought My Hand is like a shark fin.
My head is like a shark's fin.
I could have
It's an
thought
old
my
lyric
hand.
from him.
I thought hand.
I'm big.
I might be wrong. I mean, I could very well be wrong.
My head is like a shark's fin. My hat? Oh, we're both wrong.
My hat is like a shark fin.
I always thought it was my head because he uses this lyric in a really old song. My hat. Okay, we're both wrong. It's his hat. Does he wear a hat in that? I think he's a chef.
Yeah, he's a chef. Chef's hat. That's a fun film.
It is a fun film.
The sequels are absolute trash.
Yeah. The one thing that really bothers me with, I don't know, it's this sort of film, so I should expect it. How long is this film? The setting? What we're talking, a day? Because they leave in the day, it happens at night, then we end the film the next day.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Probably 2 days.
They are like, after all the deaths, the destruction, the monster they've seen, somehow this happens again in Snakeman. Instantly love, instantly, hey, come here. That bothers me. That always bothers me so much.
Well, at least it turns out these two characters have history with each other.
Mm.
They knew each other at school. She had a massive crush on him at school. So at least there is a backstory. It's not like Stephen Baldwin and Bad Actress Lady.
We get that little exposition scene at dinner time, don't we? When she's cooking, is it gumbo? She's cooking like classic gumbo. That's Narlands. That's a Narlands dish, yeah. So we get that. It's not like, I love it in the end of From Dusk Till Dawn, when everything's we're left with Juliette Lewis and George Clooney.
Hard night.
Yeah, but she's like, take me with you, and he's like, no, I'm not. I'm a bastard, but I'm not that much of a fucking bastard.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've asked, but it's such
gives
a
us
good
some
little
money
line.
and dries off. But it's not like they end happily ever after.
And then
together.
it zooms out, and we see kind of the painted. Kind of
the pyramid,
all the pyramid stuff, but it's very clearly painted.
It's more so they don't leave together; they don't have a happy ending together.
Yeah,
I much prefer that than what we get here
in almost every.
Very
film
cliche,
like
cliche.
Yeah,
they're very simple films. This is more so than anything. Very simple film. I would say Snake Man has a little bit more. I mean, it's all ludicrous.
I think the characters in this film are more interesting than the Snake Man characters because this film has characters. Snake Man has got Stephen Baldwin, female lead, bad guy, and then generic everybody.
Yeah.
At least this film, you've got the naked couple, you've got the badass who used to be in Vietnam, you've got Elmer, you've got Mama Juju.
Okay. Do you know what? As we've been talking about it, and the more we talk about it, more imagery from the films pop up into my head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm flipping. I was gonna say Snake Man.
I'm very firmly of the opinion that Frankenfish is a more enjoyable film.
I'm gonna go with Frankenfish. I still found it boring, but it's a more competent film.
See, I didn't find it boring. I watched the whole thing, no issues, watched it all in one go. Snake Man, I paused multiple times to do some busy work. Basically, my niece was off school today. She was unwell, so I was babysitting.
Fine.
And so I was like, oh, great, I'll help you with your sock monkey. She's been building a sock monkey.
Here, niece, come watch this.
And also it was, I'll just have to pause this so you don't see anything that's going on.
Yeah, of course.
Although there was literally nothing that could have been scary on that screen, apart from maybe a leg falling out of the tree. Oh, God.
So
I found Snake Man offensively boring. The fact that I kept checking the time and thinking, oh God, I've still got another hour of this left.
Yeah.
It felt a chore to watch, whereas I didn't find Frankenfish bothered me. It was an easier watch, I felt.
Okay. No, it was an easy watch. Yes, I will give you that. So your pick for the winner will be Frankenfish.
If I had to watch one again, I'd happily watch Frankenfish again.
Yeah, your pick would be the winner of these.
I think Frankenfish is
Frankenfish is the winner. We have a clear-cut winner. A clear cut. Okay, I'm happy to go with Frankenfish. Was last one? Did we go with?
We split. I went for
Nice.
I went for 619. You went for Beyond.
Yeah. But I think we're pretty happy with go with Frankenfish on this.
I mean,
cool.
If you were on the fence, the song clinched it.
Yes, which I'll play another 5 seconds of it right now for you.
Chills down your spine, thoughts through your mind, 'cause deep inside you know this thing will take your life.
Hope you enjoyed that. It's great. We all did.
And now we'll play a little bit of the Deep Blue Sea one, and we can hear if it's hand, hat, or head is like a shark fin.
All three are like a shark's fin. So yeah.
You ate my bird.
You ate my bird. That's a great line. Great line. And he survives the film.
Yeah, he does.
He survives the film. So that's it. That's.
I don't think he survived originally, though. I think that was a redo after audience test screenings.
Oh, really? I'm
pretty sure that she survived originally.
Yeah, that's kind of out of the blue where she dies. You don't expect that. Is Thomas Jane in that film?
Yeah.
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of the main guy.
Yeah, he is. So that's it. That's this installment of 2 Films Under. Frankenfish versus Snake Man / Snakeking. And Frankenfish is the winner. Next month, April, which we've already recorded and we've already apologised for any issues with.
We've already apologised
for an episode we've already done, but isn't out yet. If you understand what we're saying, ranking every single Saw trap from Saw 1 to 10.
Not including Jigsaw.
No.
Sorry, not including Spiral.
That's the one. Not including Spiral. So everything apart from Spiral. So that is all of April. And then we were back in May with usual schedule. Any new films that are coming out. We're not going to do a tier list for a while because it takes a long time to edit. Another 2 Films Under for the end of May. Maybe a classic, maybe your pick, maybe my pick, maybe a new film. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what we do, see what we've got time for. And check us out on all the usual links, all the social medias, Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
What's that email address?
thedreadcastpodcast@gmail.com. Just search Dreadcast and you'll find it for everything. All major streaming services on YouTube. I believe that's it.
Tom, do we have an Instagram page?
We do. Did I miss out Instagram?
I just
the social medias, the Dreadcast on Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and TikTok. Do check it out there for all the updates with the show. And I guess so. Until next time,
keep watching the skies.
It's got nothing to do with with horror, but
No.
yet we've done it now for 3 times, I think.
Because it's a great way
got
to
it.
end an episode.
No, we're
with a
working on
bad
it.
Simpsons joke.
We're working on it. We're starting to come up with a nice new intro. Got to come up with an exit now.
An exit strategy.
An exit strategy.
Hey, look, a bird!